Hello everyone, and welcome to Gamesplaning, where I take a look at games and explain them to you, to the best of my ability. Today we are having a look at quite the gem. This is Dungeons of Dredmor. For those of you who do not know, this is quite the old game. I think it was released in 2011 or 2010, something like that. But it is a roguelike, top-down 2D roguelike, but it is very much in the style of the game Rogue, which roguelikes are named after. Now, obviously, Enter the Gungeon even, Dead Cells, Binding of Isaac, all of those are roguelikes, but this is like very true to the original Rogue game, in the sense that every time you take a move, it is turn-based, and every time you take a move, the enemy also takes a move. So that is kind of how they balance things in this sort of game. Now, it is a very hard game, it is a very logical game to some degree. I think the way that they present the idea of the game, or the way you craft stuff, you do things, it is all very logical, but at the same time it's not, because it is a game after all. But I kinda like it. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. The thing you begin with in this game is, of course, creating your character. Now you get to choose what difficulty you play on, and you also get to choose if you want permadeath. And then you come to this screen. Here, you choose your skills, literally. So you choose what kind of things you want your character to be good at. You can be a swordsman, you can be a wizard, you can be a rogue, you can be basically anything. You can be a guy that just crafts things. You probably won't get that far because you need some sort of combat skill usually. But you can be someone that just crafts stuff. And I think that is kind of interesting. It is an interesting way to do the progression of the character. Because you can't really blame someone for being unlucky, let's say, or any sort of sense like that. Because you have chosen all the skills yourself, and leveling is not based on luck, it's based on how much you kill creatures. Obviously there is some luck involved anyway. But anyway, this is like when you level up and you get to choose these skills. You get to improve your skills, go down this skill tree. All these skills, some are passive, some are active, and most of them are very interesting. So you can have your guy being a berserker, for example, which makes it so that you deal more damage the more damage you take. You can be a axe-wielding paladin kind of guy with holy magic. It is a lot of things you can do in this game, and that is kind of what sets Dungeons of Dredmor apart from games like Enter the Gungeon, where it's more about what you find in your run, not how you build your character from the ground up. Now, there are some side quests in the game, and they do give you things. They usually give you artifacts, which are stronger items, things like this. It is good to always try to finish them. I almost never do, because I forget about them instantly, and then it's like, oh well, I was supposed to kill this monster on this level, but now I'm at level 3, and well, I'm not going back up to level 1 to kill these guys. So, the way you progress in the game, obviously, you level up, you find items, and then you go further and further down into the dungeon. You go downstairs to the next level, and that is how you progress. Now, I don't know exactly how far you have to go. I've still got the save where I took this footage from going, and I've gotten quite far. Like, I'm at level 5 or 6 maybe, and I still haven't seen any sort of resemblance of an end. But I don't think that is a bad thing. These kinds of games are supposed to be long. They are supposed to have a lot of content in them, and that's kind of what they do best. But let's talk a bit about the game itself. So, as I mentioned, it is a turn-based game where the enemies move as you do, and you have a lot of stats. If you look down in the right corner on that screen, Jesus, that is all the stats that your character can have. Plus, you can have bonuses to damage, you can have bonus resistances, as you see up by the equipments on the left side. You have the resistances that my armor gives, and down the bottom you see the damage, the bonus damages that I get from my equipment. Now, there is a lot of stats in this game, and if you are someone that just loves to crunch down, just like look at stats and absorb them, just take it into you, this is a perfect game for you. It is so good for that kind of player. It is great for that kind of player, simply put. You just watch basically these stats increase, and you start to see as you play what kind of stats you're looking for. Like in this run I went for a quite defensive build, where my guy was very good with access and heavily armored. You also have this kind of storage area, I guess you could say. The only point I see with this area is chucking stuff on the floor and keeping some sort of organization, because you find so many items that you can't keep them in your inventory at all times. So you got this sort of pocket dimension, kind of a bag of holding, if you will, where you can store all the things. This is just basically an inventory management system. Now, back to the stats. As I said, you have basically stats for everything. You have stats for your magic, how much mana you have, how much mana you regenerate, how much magic damage you do, how much magic resistance that you have. You have trap affinity, so like how much damage your traps do if you put out traps. You also have trap detection, how easily you detect traps and how good you are at removing them. There are a lot of stats. There are many stats, but I kind of love it. In the sort of sense where you go like stats crunching and you're just looking at these numbers and like, oh yes, well, okay, my character right now has 78% chance to block, so I'm probably not going to take any damage, so I can start going super offensive. I can get all my offensive abilities and all these sort of things. And then you have like, oh well, now I have a 30% chance to counterattack, so let's go further into the aggressiveness, because if I counterattack a lot, the enemies are going to attack or die faster if I deal more damage as they attack me. This is kind of a game that I love in that sort of sense. I do love that sort of analytic number crunching in games. And Dungeons of Dredmor is no different. It is a very good game, and for all of you roguelike lovers out there that likes a bit more strategy, not the same kind of action that maybe Binding of Isaac or those kinds of games give you, this is a really good game. It's slower, you get to think a lot about how you move, and yeah, it is just a great strategy game. I think that is all I have to say about Dungeons of Dredmor, but if you did like the game, you can comment down below kind of what you think about the video. Also remember to subscribe and like and ding that bell to get some more notifications of my videos. And that has been me. That is everything I have up to say about Dungeons of Dredmor, simply put. Now, I hope you liked the video, and I hope you enjoyed me talking about it. And I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.